Yo, what is up guys? How's it going today? My name is SarahTube and today I'm bringing you guys the overnight flipping guide. This has been a long awaited video on my channel and I'm so excited to bring it to you guys. We've got some awesome flips to showcase to show you how to make literal bank by just flipping overnight. It's super easy. Now, I will preface this by saying I only recommend doing some overnight flipping if you are an experienced flipper, if you've done some flips in the past and you have some experience doing that. So go ahead and get some flipping experience first and then come back and take a look at this video. Anyway guys, you're going to find this really useful, so hopefully you stay tuned. So to start this, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about the flipping strategy. Now, personally for me, I like to flip very high quantity items when I do my overnight flips. You can also do high margin items, but I tend to find that high quantity items tends to be a lot safer than high margin items, and high margin items are a little bit hard to predict overnight, so you do have to be very careful flipping them. That being said, both of these items will work, or both of these types of items are going to work for you, so you can use the same principles to flip either. In your overnight flipping, basically your goal is to put a really low price listing in and buy a bunch of that item or one of that item and turn around and sell it during the day for a normal price or even possibly an increased price depending on if you get lucky or not. My kind of philosophy behind doing overnight flipping is it's better to put a low listing in that does not buy than putting in a listing that buys but does not sell during the day. So keep that in mind when you're putting in your overnight flips. How this video is going to work is I'm just going to flip a bunch of items overnight. We're going to see what works for us, what doesn't work for us, and then I'll kind of commentate on the next day and we'll see how much money we made on each flip here. But the first item I'm going to do is the bracelet of Ethereum. I really like flipping the bracelet of Ethereum. It's one of my favorite overnight flips, although you have to be very patient selling these things because they don't always sell that fast during the day. Sometimes it'll take a day, 2 days. I kind of know the price they bounce around, so I'm going to go ahead and list a bunch of them for 43,935. I highly recommend looking on GE Tracker. If you have GE Tracker Premium, look at the day price and see what the item is fluctuating between and put listings within the lows and the high points that you see on the graph. If you do not have GE Tracker Premium, you can still do this. Just go to the week view and kind of look at the most recent data that's there, and just take a look at what it's fluctuating around. Get a listing in there that seems about right. Don't be afraid to put a listing in too low. Like I said before, it's better to not make any money than to lose money. Keep that in mind as you go through your flips. We're going to list these bracelets of Ethereum and hopefully they will buy overnight. The next item we're going to do is the green dragonhide leather. I normally flip a bunch of different leathers overnight because I think they're super safe and super easy to flip. I do the green dragonhide leather, the black dragonhide leather, and sometimes the red. I don't do the blue that much. I haven't had much success with it. The red is kind of the same as the blue. I haven't had as much success as I've had with the green dragonhide leather and the black dragonhide leather. The black dragonhide leather has a better margin, but on top of it all, I honestly really like flipping the green dragonhide leather. It's just the easiest. And as you guys can see, this is the green dragonhide leather margin as of right now, and it's already pretty good. When I flip the green dragonhide leather, I'm looking to get overnight, I'm saying 30 to 40 GP per, so I'm hoping we can get that tonight. The next item I'm gonna put up, guys, is one of the riskier items that it's pretty hard to flip overnight, honestly, but I'm gonna try it today just to show you and see if I can make some really big profits. But this is the mysterious emblem. I've already done a margin check on it. If you guys are curious to how I'm actually listing these items and why I'm putting in for the prices that I am, you can see that I'm significantly underneath margin for each item I've listed so far. The reason I'm doing that is because overnight items tend to drop in volume. They tend to drop in volume a lot, and people that are playing the game will try to sell their item immediately for cash. A lot of RuneScape players do this. It's basically a convenience fee, so they can sell their item for lower to get GP immediately, and most players do, vouch for that technique. So what tends to happen overnight is, since the volume traded kind of lowers down when less people are playing the game, and just keep in mind that your listings are also in for a very long time, that the prices tend to go down a bit because people are dumping, no one's playing the game, so really no one's buying anything, and the prices tend to sink a little bit. When the morning comes around, people are logging on and also buying back their items and stuff. Things tend to go back up, and that is bread and butter of an overnight flip right there, and that's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to buy those items at their cheap point, wait for them to get a little bit pricier, and then sell them in the morning. Moving on to the next item, guys, a really good one as well, the eclectic impling. We're gonna go take a look at the margins on this right now, see the day margins, and try to get a good listing in there. The eclectic implings, you can actually get a lot of these every 4 hours, but overnight they tend to be quite nice because these do fluctuate a lot in price compared to a lot of these other items we're looking at right now, and you can tend to get a lot of them for a fairly cheap price. Like if we can get 40,000 of these and we made a 40 GP margin off of them, that would be quite nice. We can even get a bigger margin. Eclectics I've done overnight for like 100 GP each. Now I didn't get 40,000, trust me, but I'm gonna go in and try to get maybe 20k worth of them. I don't want to put all my money in just one flip, so I'm trying to spread out my cash tag to showcase more items for you guys, so hopefully you do appreciate that. We're gonna go ahead and list the eclectic implings, and hopefully that works out for us. For these next two items, they're kind of items I haven't tried yet. Someone brought up to me on a stream, and I can't remember who it is, so I'm sorry if you're watching the video, but they brought them to me on stream, and I was like, I think they actually might be a good overnight flip. And this is going to be the dragon knives and the dragon throne axes. So I'm going to margin check them real quick, see what the prices are going for, and try to put a good listing in there. Also going to walk you guys through how I do a very specific price listing here at the end on GE trackers. Stay tuned if you want to see that. I know you guys are probably curious on how I'm finding what price I should be listing for. We're going to go ahead and list the dragon knives and the dragon throne axes and see if we can make some profit off of those. So quick update here. I checked the dragon knives and they actually look like they will be a good overnight flip. Looks like we can already get like, what, 40 GP on a day flip for those, so I'm guessing the margins will move a lot bigger overnight. And on top of that, I checked the dragon throne axes here. I didn't really think they were going to be very good. The margin right now is really small, really not that much, so I don't think we're actually going to do that. We're going to stay away from that, and instead I listed these Zolver scales. This is a flip I do during what I call a day flip almost all the time. It's one of my bread and butter flips, as I say. I decided to go ahead and list 120,000 of them for 149 GP each, which is 2 GP under the current margin. Zolver scales do not move around in price a lot, so you can kind of flip them overnight if you get lucky. I've actually never flipped them overnight, so we're going to see what happens. My guess is we're probably not going to be able to buy any of them, but we'll have to see what happens. Going to go ahead and try to get like 1 or 2 more items listed here, and then I'll wrap it up with a little GE tracker summary of how I'm doing the exact listings for these items. The last item I decided to list was the amethyst crystal, which recently has had a huge price run up, and I just noticed today that they're dropping down a bit in price, so I think they might go a little bit lower over the night. Hopefully we can grab a few, sell it during the day, make some good profit off of it. Like I was flipping these the other day for 1,050 to 1,090, so now that they're down about 40 GP, I'm happy to go in on those. I do think they will drop a little bit lower overnight and we will get lucky. Basically, I've got that all listed, guys. We're going to go over to GE Tracker and I'll show you how I'm determining what my prices are for each item. Okay, and here we are on GE Tracker. Now, I'm going to be walking through the green dragonhide leather today and how you could determine what price or what margin you should be listing for overnight. Currently, we're just going to use the GE Tracker price to make it easier. I know we checked a different margin earlier, but we'll just use the standard GE Tracker prices here. We're going to be looking at the margin here and determining what we should be listing the buy price overnight for. As you can see, we can pretty much currently buy them for 1,639 each and sell them for 1,642. Not really a great margin during the day, probably not an item I would look into flipping. That being said, we can go over here to the GE Tracker weekly graph. Just go ahead and hit that. If you do have GE Tracker Premium, you can look at the day graph. It is a bit more accurate and has a little bit more information. You can probably get a better listing that way, but I do not, so I'm going to go ahead and use the free one. Now, as you can see, the price has kind of been bouncing around between 1,645 to 1,627 for the past day or so. You can kind of go back, trace it back, and let's look at the week view in total, right? What's the low price here? 1,601, and it even got down to 1,550, but that was probably a fluke either with the recording software for GE Tracker, or there was just a big dip because a lot of people dumped at once and it was just a fluke. Ignore those really, really large decreases, but this looks pretty healthy, bouncing at 1,601 back up in price, 1,599, so we can clearly see that it doesn't really fall much below 1,601. As the week goes on, it's hitting lows of 1,616 and 1,618. That's kind of how I determined a buy price of 1,610. I can see that currently it's getting to low points of around 1,600, 15, 18, or yeah, 16, 18, 20. So my guess is overnight we're going to be able to buy some for 1,610 because GE Tracker, it's a great site, but it doesn't pick up on every sell offer. So I tend to find that even if GE Tracker is saying, oh, the lowest buy price for this time period was 1,616, I've actually had instances where that's not really the case. I've actually bought it for lower. Just knowing that, going to list a little bit underneath that and see if I can get lucky. Hopefully that kind of made sense. It's a little bit hard to explain, and it kind of comes with experience with flipping overnight. So I did the best I could explaining it, and hopefully that was helpful for you guys. We're going to leave those flip offers in overnight. I'm hoping we can get some really cheap prices on some items, just turn around in the morning and sell them for a good profit. There's a couple new items in here that I haven't done in a while, so we're going to have to see how that works for us. Alright guys, it's the next morning and I'm just looking at everything now. The bracelets of Ethereum, mysterious emblems, and the amethyst crystals have bought. So I was actually expecting to get a few more items bought up, but I guess that's not the case. We didn't get any of the green dragon hide leather, which I really did expect to get, but that's okay. We're going to turn around and check the margins on the bracelets, the mysterious emblems, and the amethyst crystal to see if we're going to be able to make any profits. I'm going to check it and then get back to you guys. Really excited because all of the items that did buy up are actually going to sell for a very nice profit. Besides the bracelets of Ethereum, we actually don't really have a good margin on those. That's like or 3 GP. It's really not getting much there, but everything else looks like it's going to be pretty good. The mysterious emblems are incredible. There's like a few K between them, so we're definitely going to turn around and sell those as quick as we can. The amethyst crystals are also going for 20 GP each, which I thought would be a lot more, to be honest, but that's okay. We'll still be able to make some money on them. And the eclectic implings, which I forgot to mention in the last clip, are also going to do us very well. So we're going to turn around and sell those. Going to get over 40 GP on those. I went ahead and listed all the items. I also canceled all the buy offers. Like I said before, it's okay if an item doesn't buy overnight. You always want to be very conservative and kind of lowball everything you're putting in overnight, because when you wake up in the morning, you want there to be a profit. It is much better for an item not to buy than for it not to sell the next day and the day after that, and you really don't want to dump those overnight flips. We're already selling some of those mysterious emblems. I'm super excited to see the profit on that one, but either way, you're going to expect this every time you do some overnight flips. Some are not going to buy out and others will, so just kind of keep that in mind as you go along. I was pretty lucky actually. I got 4 of them to buy out. I was maybe only expecting to get like 2 or 3, but I definitely thought we were going to get that green dragon hide leather, so I'm kind of surprised we didn't get it. Boom guys, that right there is pure profit. I just left my game for about 9 or 10 hours while I was at work, and I came back to all green. I'm super pumped about it. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the profits here, see how much we've made. My guess is we've probably made close to $1 million. I'm not exactly sure, so I'll let you guys know how much we made and the profits from just one overnight flipping session. My profits were way better than I actually anticipated. I'm gonna go ahead and put on screen right now the profits for each item that I got. The mysterious emblems were absolutely nuts. I've never made profit like that on them before. I thought we were only gonna total out to about $1 million. I knew that the emblems looked really good, but I did not think we got over $1 million on them, so I'm super pumped about all the profit we made on today's video. In total, we made 1.74 million GP overnight, literally not doing anything, not even playing the game in pretty much that entire span, just by putting in about 10 minutes of work. It is crazy overnight flipping and how much money you can make from it. Anyway guys, hopefully you did enjoy the video. Leave a like if you did, really does help me out a lot. If you want to learn more overnight flips and just about flipping in general, join us on Discord. It's an amazing community. We've got over 600 members now, and I'm super pumped about it. If you're interested, link in the description below. Anyway guys, thank you for tuning in today, and I'll see you all next time.